Nier is one of the most tragic games of this generation. It's one of the most heartfelt and intelligent stories that you'll ever play, but it is a game that was largely overlooked by the critics and gamers alike. Another tragedy is it was the swan song for Cavia, a very talented development studio behind such a hit as Dragon Guard on the PS2. On just about every level, this is a special game. The presentation is stellar. Though the visual aesthetic doesn't come across very well in the static screenshots, in motion the art direction is moody and surreal. This is a game about desperate hope in a hopeless situation, so anyone who went in expecting bright colours is going to be disappointed. But the muted primary colours and cool atmosphere is perfect for such a downbeat world. And that visual style is a perfect complement for the story, which is a superbly written tale with some very heavy themes, and it builds an overwhelming sensation of sadness. But at the same time, it's broken up with some of the best comic dialogue you'll ever hear in a game. So for instance, there is this rather brilliant tirade from one of the characters, and indeed this is actually the first thing you'll experience in the game as you boot it up.
You dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace. How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us!
I also need to make a special call out to the soundtrack, which is easily one of the best I've ever heard. The soaring operatic tones and powerful vocal accompaniment have been tailored to suit each environment perfectly. Rarely has a game soundtrack been such a critical component of the emotional power of a game, but that's brought right to the forefront here. The gameplay itself is a wonderful mismatch of genres and unbound creativity. One moment you'll be fighting in traditional action RPG fashion, but the next you'll be doing a bit of 2D platforming, some top-down dual-stick shooting, and even some Harvest Moon style farming. The ideas come so thick and fast that it's impossible to get bored of any of them, and they integrate with one another seamlessly. While they're essentially mini-games, they never actually feel like such. And then there's the bosses. These creatures are absolutely massive in scale and have some pretty interesting routines and weak spots to overcome. In the end, these bosses are far more impressive for their sheer size than the challenge they pose, so we're not talking about a Monster Hunter game here, but they are breathtaking experiences nonetheless. Most RPGs have a New Game Plus mode, but Nier takes this to an entirely different level. You want to play through the game no fewer than 4 times to get the full experience. That's not as onerous as it might sound. Each playthrough is only around 20 to 30 hours long at a casual pace. So when you played it through 4 times, you're actually getting a typical JRPG, 70 to 100 solid hours. It's worth the playtime though, as each playthrough answers some questions, but also adds a couple of extra ones in the story that's often ambiguous, but always intriguing. I don't think I'll ever understand why people didn't get into this game. It's varied and heartfelt, and really, it's an example of what happens when an RPG does get things right. It's a huge pity there won't be a sequel.